Our time is so precious.
It is.
There is nothing more important than our time. It's the one thing that we can't get back.
That's right.
And we have to make careful use of it. And especially, well, if you're running a business, if you're doing anything in life, but if you have kids...
No. Ooh, that's better, right, babe?
Yeah. She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids.
And everything in between.
Balance is not something you find, it's something you create. Don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. Quote by Darling Poet.
Welcome to the Pretty and Punk Podcast. My name is Dan Caldwell, and I'm here with my beautiful, beautiful wife,
Ildiko Ferenczi, and my wonderful, handsome husband, Dan Caldwell.
Well, thanks. You've never done that before. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take what I can get. I'll take what I can get.
Okay.
Okay. What is the podcast about today? Oh, I know what the podcast is about. We were talking about. It's probably because I'm not so good at this. I'm okay, but I could say I can be better. It has a lot to do with time management. And I think time management is so important. And actually, I'm really good at time management in a lot of ways. I think I could be better because, you know what? Our time is so precious.
It is.
There is nothing more important than our time. It's the one thing that we can't get back.
That's right.
And we have to make careful use of it. And especially, well, if you're running a business, if you're doing anything in life, but if you have kids, I always feel like, and this is the dad guilt in me, is that I feel like whenever I'm doing anything, whether it be, anything for business, especially stuff that's kind of, mundane, that, where you're scrolling through looking for content or, like trying to, figure out what am I going to post today or whatever that is, you're thinking about these things you have to do. And I'm like, man, I would rather be playing ball with the kids or something.
Yeah.
And so you figure that everything you do in your life is taking away from your kids a little bit.
That's right.
When you make the choice to do this instead of that because you have to, you might be taking time away from your kids. So you have to be careful with your time and managing your time. And that's what this podcast is all about. We're going to talk a little bit about what we do to manage our time better, and maybe some of those tips can help you too. But before we jump into that,
wait.
What?
But I need to add.
Hold on.
It's work-life balance. I think you've got some guilt on your time management.
Well, it's the same thing.
But it's going to have tactical time management tips. So work-life balance. We will get right into that right after this.
Okay, here we go. Hey guys, we hope you're enjoying today's episode of the Pretty and Punk Podcast. And if you are, and you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. It just takes a second. It means so much to us because it really helps the podcast get out there to more listeners like you guys. And if you know anybody it might help and you can send it to them, we really appreciate that too.
We also love and appreciate your reviews. Even the babies look forward to them every day. If you share this episode on social media today, don't forget to tag us. We want to celebrate you because we know it's not easy being a parent in business, and the way that you juggle things makes you a superhero. That's worth a shout out. Together, we have a community of our personal followers as well, and we just want to put it out there. We want to show everybody that this juggle is possible, and you are our family, and we're so proud and grateful to have you a part of this family. So don't forget, all the links are below in the show notes. And thank you again. And let's get back to the show. So it's work-life balance. And this guy's here.
That's okay.
This guy
I'll take
is here
work-life
sweating bullets already. But can I just tell you this? To me, in my opinion, from my experience, there's no such thing. So
I think I got
that's
confused
why
because
we were
talking about time management.
Tactical time management,
Right.
because the topic that everybody comes to us with, a lot of people in our coaching, we have a private coaching group, and most people come to us, and this is one of the most popular topics.
It is probably the most popular topic. It's probably the
balance.
question that rolls off everybody's lips when we start talking.
Yes, but
because they think we're not perfect at it. We're always working to be better, but they think
my
that there's a
work-life
fix-all.
balance looks different month to month, even day to day, depending on the age of your children, depending on what's going on in your life.
Depending on your preferences,
so
you have
many.
there's certain things, like I would say, we're going to probably talk about this at some point, but I keep telling you, let's get a housekeeper, but you want to do it yourself. And,
I
so
prefer to, yes, 100%.
that's a perfect example where somebody else would say, I'm getting a housekeeper.
Right, 100%. And if that's what they enjoy and that's what gives them, happiness and what is it, less stress, then that's fantastic. That is going to be our number 3, but we can just get into that one right now. So that's delegating and outsourcing. And I think that is incredibly important. Now, you and your spouse have to sit down and decide, what can you do? Because I know there's things for me that's really important. For me, it's hard for me to go out and do the grocery shopping. So I don't like to do that. I know a lot of moms, they enjoy going. They'd rather have a housekeeper and have someone, do the housekeeping.
Me,
and
I prefer that.
They would rather go out and go shopping. Not me. I'm telling you, here's the truth. I don't even go to the mall. I don't go to the stores. I know what stores I like. I know what things I like to buy. Everything is purchased online very quickly. It's done. It's over. Even with the kids, their clothes. I don't go into malls anymore since the kids were born. I just don't do it. So I delegate that out by shopping online. Then I have someone help me with getting the groceries.
Yep.
Because for me, it's an all-day thing. I know this sounds crazy, but my mom, when she came to the country, she was a housekeeper, and she worked for incredible celebrities, high-end homes, and she had incredible people that she worked for. And the reason that she was paid so much, sometimes they would gift her properties and all, because she was so careful. She wouldn't cross-contaminate. It's like, when you stay at an incredibly fancy hotel, when you open the door to get your stuff, they're wearing white gloves because people at a certain status don't like cooties. Okay, this is just the facts. And they are handing stuff to you in white gloves, right? The hotels we stay in.
I know.
It's all fancy. There's no dust. I clean like that because my mom taught me how to clean like that.
I get it.
And I've fired I've tried housekeepers.
You fired all my housekeepers.
Yes.
I think there was some contention when we first got together
yucky.
Because you were hating on my housekeepers all the time. And you were like, we're getting rid of them.
I'll just do it.
And I'm like, no, you're not doing it.
Yes.
It's like the whole purpose of this. I'd rather spend time with you.
I'd
rather you spend time with our kids.
It's therapeutic to me.
No, but
I'm telling
to
you
me,
that there's
I think we still have to find a good housekeeper.
No. Well, if we can find a good housekeeper that we can trust, that doesn't we have a no shoes in our house rule. And on camera, I see these sneaky they walk in with their shoes. And I'm like, are you serious? And I've been at Airbnb mansions where it says remove the shoes, and we've come early, and their housekeepers were in there in their dirty shoes. So I picked up the phone. I found I found out the contact. I said, you have this no shoes rule in your home, in your Airbnb mansion. Do you know these people are in here with their gritty, dirty shoes? She's like, I had no idea. I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyway, I'm just very picky. I like my place immaculate, and I'll do it myself. For me, it's therapeutic. Everything's so clean, it doesn't take me long. We remove our shoes, we wash our hands before we come in the house, and it's a great thing for me to do. I love cleaning. I don't know.
Well,
my girlfriend.
Okay,
Adina,
so that's one thing we'll talk about. We'll agree to disagree.
We'll
on
agree
that
to
point.
disagree. Maybe one day if I find an incredible housekeeper that's not going to use, the same rag that she's cleaned the toilet with on my counters, and I see it not on, on camera.
Well, I'd fire them for that too.
Yeah,
but
I just.
But here's the thing, and that's not what my housekeepers were doing. But you just didn't think they were cleaning well enough. But it is important with all this technology that's out there now, that it's so easy to order your groceries, order your clothes, order your, you don't have to go get a blender. You don't have to, I need a new spatula. You don't have to do none of that anymore. You can order all of that online, and that saves so much time. And also, any of your reoccurring orders, your continuity stuff.
Yes.
We don't do too much of that.
Well,
but
we do.
There's probably people out there. Water, Symbiotic.
Well, we'll put some stuff in the list this time.
But a lot of those things. If there's anything that you can just put on where every 30 days or every 2 weeks something's coming, so you don't have to think about it. Like, we should probably do it with paper towels and toilet paper and all this stuff as much as we can, because I know you can do that. You can make those settings on Amazon now.
Yeah.
And so, it can make your life so much. You don't realize you save a minute here, you save a minute there, and it helps your work-life balance, because you're just, you're able to spend more time with your family, more time doing the things that you love, rather than doing the stuff that just needs to be taken care of.
That's right. And you can do that in your business too. And guys, if it's therapeutic for you to take everybody and go shopping, just like for me, I love cleaning. I love it. If you love shopping and that's therapy, for me, before kids, I used to love it. Now, not so much. I'm always watching my back. I'd rather not. I'd rather spend a day at the park or doing something fun with my family than going shopping. That's not my thing anymore. But now we are so blessed within your business, you can outsource so many things online. If you have a team, an in-person team, that's amazing. But when you're first starting out, not only is it less expensive to delegate stuff out online, and you can do that.
Fiverr, all these different companies that are out there where you can have people do tasks. There was somebody just a week ago, I had this list, and I had to remove everything but the email address from the list so that I could upload it to
and you
this.
just outsourced
And it's like, why am I going to spend all this time doing this? There's 3,000 names on here.
Yeah.
So it was so much easier. Just send it off to somebody, and $20 later it comes back and it's all done. Those types of things, it makes it so much better.
Have
it was like
team,
20, 30, $40. But it's worth every penny, because it's saving you that time.
Right. Now, I think number one is prioritize ruthlessly. And that's one of the things that
So give me an example of how you prioritize ruthlessly.
Well, focus on what truly matters to your family, and engage in those types of things and those types of people. Don't just say yes to everything. Let go of the tasks and the things that for me, the tasks and the things that don't align with God's purpose in my life. Those things are not on my priority at all.
That's. I guess I'm a little guilty of some of that, but it's like, here's the problem: is that I have so many. When I'm, a lot of the people that I surround myself with are, some of the best of the best. So when these guys call you and they say, "Hey, I want to talk to you about this new thing that I'm doing," and you'll look at me like, you better not take that call. And I'll go like, okay, what time you want to talk? And you look over at me like, why are you taking this call right now? They're going to try to divert you into doing something else. Yeah. But you got to understand, this is a guy maybe who's done 50 shows on television. You know, he's not like some slouch. This isn't like some guy who hasn't done anything before. Yeah. And so I'm like, I got to hear what this guy has to say, because you don't know where some of those things are going to lead.
Well, you have your gut feel. I know for myself, and that's slipping into number 2 of setting boundaries, but still, prioritizing the tasks of what you're going to tackle. So you got to just be ruthless and prioritize. Like say you have to do 20 things today. Get to the very, very important things and prioritize those each day. Set the list the night before and then tackle those things in your day. And things are going to come up. You may not get through that list. Don't worry. Don't eat yourself up about it, because that's just going to take away from the harmony in the family. So just do what you can and then have that cutoff time.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I learned years ago, and, trying to decide how to lay out my day, I was told by this guy I respected, start with the hard stuff.
Yes.
And so email was always that for me. I always hated emails, so I started off my day with doing emails, getting the emails out of the way so I could go do the work that I actually like to do. Mm-hmm. And so I always, for you, I don't know what that might be for you or for somebody else listening, but to me, it was always email.
Well, now you're in a different place where we have someone helping us with emails, but
I still have to answer a lot of emails by myself.
Yeah, but the ones that are good that are sent to you. And same, I have someone that goes through all my emails, because otherwise I'd be on my phone all day long. But I have someone that sends me the important ones, and then yes, that's one of my priorities. But so prioritize ruthlessly. Number 2, let's slide on down to setting boundaries. And that's really, really important.
Yes.
And
I mean, here's the thing is that, and I think, even though I know I can always do better, but here's where people make the mistake is they have their buddies and their cousins and their guy from down the way who knew him from 10 years ago who's calling you, and they want to meet up. Oh, let's go let's go catch a coffee. Let's sit down and talk about this. Or, hey, can you tell me how to help, what I could be doing better in my business? They want to take up your time. They're called, they're time thieves.
Can I just say, if someone asks you, can I pick your brain? No.
It's like, but don't even let him get the word out.
No. And don't. And if you guys are looking to pick someone's brain, don't do it. Just come at it in a different way. Like, just pay them for their time or bring something of value.
You got to bring some to the table. That's how you get guys.
Especially if these people have a family. Like it's a no.
I mean, you're
it's
taking
a hard
away their
no
time
for me. Yeah.
And there's a couple people that I give a little leeway to, but for the most part, you got to say
it's dangerous because you want to help. You want to help the world, but sometimes you just have to charge for that. Let your yes be yes and your no be no.
Warren Buffett said the difference between successful people and really successful people are really successful people say no a lot. Mm-hmm. Say no to everything, I think he says. I mean, it's so true, because if you don't protect your time, you're going to be so busy doing things for other people. Not to say that we don't like to do things for other people, because there's a lot that we do for other people. And there's certain people in my life that I will, try, I want to help everybody as much as I can, but I can't give away this time that is so precious, because then I won't be able to work on the things that I love to work on, that I need for my family or spend time with my family.
That's right. And we were talking about it the other day. I was talking to a gentleman, and he's done very well for his life, but he has a hard cutoff. And especially on his date night, there's like an earlier cutoff because he leaves early. So if they have a problem, his cutoff, I think, was 3:30. And if they have a problem, have to come to him in the time that it takes for him to walk from the office to the car. So, because he's still working in an office. Not everybody works from home, but he has the hard cutoff. And he's like, I'll give you till I get to my car. And that's the hard cutoff on date night.
Yeah.
And then on regular days, it's another hard cutoff.
You have to do that.
But you have to let the people around you
when
know.
When
so
I used
they
to do meetings
respect it.
for Tap Out, the first thing I said when I walked in was I got 10 minutes or I got 20 minutes, whatever that time frame was.
Yeah.
I said, even when you get on phone calls today, there's a few times I still do that. You know, it's like I get on a call or a podcast and you just tell people, hey, I got 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, set your time boundaries in a way that are, you know, that protects your time, but also gives them enough time to be able to get done what you got to get done.
Yes. And so that you don't get avoided. I do this a lot. Hey, do you have time for a 10-minute call? I have a 10-minute. I feel like with entrepreneur parents, it's a 10-minute call or a 15-minute call, and just let them know up front, but respect their time. You have to respect their time. That's so important. So setting boundaries, that's important. Number 3, let's delegate wisely. This is all tactical stuff that we could
I think we talked a little bit about this, but
oh
yes.
yeah, sorry, we did that. But yeah, so remember Moses, he learned to delegate tasks to trusted leaders. So we were talking about that. We already mentioned that. Delegate wisely. So I like to have people help me with shopping and all that stuff. And we have our
and there's probably,
team for business.
There's more hacks out there. It's just with the
We're trying
way
to go
technology
fast right now.
is exploding, that there's going to be, I was watching a robot deliver food yesterday and it's like, that's where it's going. That's where it's going. I also posted something about a car. Well, you know, now they got driverless cars now. Literally, you're getting into a taxi and there's no driver. You know, so there's so many things to make your life easier or more difficult.
Let's slide into number 4 and talk about self-care. That's a non-negotiable. You have to take care of yourself. But again, as parents, this looks different for everyone. I don't really have the time to go out and have that weekly massage anymore, but you have to get it when you can. Dive deep into your rest. However you can. Is it after the kids go to sleep? Is it before they wake up? How are you taking care of yourself? That's important. Now, also, self-care isn't just, a massage and get my nail. I haven't had my nails done in so long, let's be honest. But it's the way that you feed yourself. This is self-care.
Yes.
The way that you feed your family. This is all self-care. Because in the end, if you're eating and you're grabbing for garbage, we really don't have a lot of trash in our house, because I would feel maybe there would be a temptation to go into that in the pantry. But if you have a bunch of sugary
Sometimes
stuff,
I look in the refrigerator or the pantry. And I keep wondering, why do I keep going back to the pantry? I keep looking for some junk. But there's no junk in here. We don't really eat junk. I don't know. I don't really want it. I'm just looking.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Our bodies are our temples, and
self-care also means too, like, if you guys, you know, I think everybody kind of has a hobby, or for me, sometimes I like to watch a movie. You know, I'm just like, I just need to clear my head. You know, maybe it's a book. I've been listening to this book lately, and you know, I try to listen to a book every month.
Yes.
More if I can, but it's like that. This book is really like, when I'm listening to it, I'm like, wow, I clear all my thoughts, because nothing to do with business. It has nothing to do with you know, anything that I would normally listen to.
Right.
But it's just a history lesson, and I just enjoy being in the moment of this history moment. And I think it's everybody, if you have something in your life that just clears your head, sometimes you just need that. You just need that to be better, because then when you come back to your work or to your kids, you're in a better place.
Yeah, I agree. Engage in activities that nourish your body, mind, and spirit. And you know what your priorities, you know what you need. I know that for me, I like to do those things, and I have the kids with me. But if I need I'm the mothers. It's just a different life. You're never going to go to the bathroom by yourself, not for like the moment that sweet little angel takes its first breath. You will never go to the bathroom by yourself again. My husband is lucky. He gets to go by himself.
They don't follow me to the restroom.
No, they don't. They have no desire. But for me, it's just, hi, what do you need? But yeah, so that's that. This is my life. So I listen and do things that involve them, which is great because I'm nourishing my brain. I'm nourishing, with the content that I take in. I don't watch crap TV anymore. I don't feed myself
we don't even have
garbage.
TVs. It's hard to watch crap TV because we don't have TVs. We don't watch TV.
Yeah, and I'm not going hard on anybody else because some people, their content needs to be different. But for me, it feels... I feel anxious if I'm not learning or taking in good content. My life is very different now because I'm going to tell you how precious life is. When you walk into an office and they tell you that you may only have a couple weeks, your life is different. I'm telling you. So my life is just different. Let's try to wrap this up. I love my life and I love the way that I live it. And everybody has the things that make them feel good. So go for what makes you feel good. It's your self-care, not mine. Embrace flexibility. This is number 5.
Embrace flexibility. So what would you consider embracing flexibility? I'm gonna be like, okay, you wrote this down.
Here's the thing.
I'm going to give you the floor on this one.
As parents, things happen. So trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding. There's going to be weeks, and I've seen it with my mom, where the business didn't go that well. And, things are going to have to be flexible. I remember I've shared this story before because this is powerful. My mom was crying. We were driving home and she started crying. Well, not totally crying because there was only 2 times in my life that she cried, but her eyes were starting to get emotional.
Yeah.
They were starting to well up. And of course, like Daniel and Destiny, if I ever get emotional, and then she'll run to her brother and, mommies. So we're in the car. We're looking at mom. Mom, what's wrong, David? What's wrong? She said, I only made enough money for milk and bread. And he gets so excited. He's like, perfect. I love milk and bread. He was just really excited about it. Like, this is a great thing. Don't worry about it. This is wonderful. We got milk and bread. And all of a sudden I started smiling and he started smiling and she literally started laughing. So everybody's flexibility is different, but just find the blessing in whatever you're going through. For me, when I was fighting for my life hardcore, and I should have probably been checked into a hospital because I know without the kids, that's probably what would have happened. But with the kids, every moment was so precious and so beautiful. I never smiled so much. Nobody had any idea what was going on behind the curtain. But just whatever you're going through, embrace the flexibility, take the lesson.
Because
life is so
everybody's going to have it. If you're an entrepreneur and a parent,
yes.
there's probably no more challenging thing when it comes to flexibility. You're going to have to have flexibility. I'm trying to find the best way to word that. You need flexibility in everything that you do.
Yes.
Because your kids, that playtime with your kids is going to extend out a little further.
You're probably going to be bringing your kids to your meetings.
Or you're bringing your kids to a meeting.
I was nursing. There was no, I'll see you later, sweet. No, there was none of that. I was nursing. So I was on business calls. I was on Zoom. I was nursing. I was on podcast nursing, like business I was in it to win it, okay? I'm
you're
not
much better
deny.
at that. I like to have the kids in our meetings, and I like to have the kids, especially Daniel, he's a little bit older, have him next to me for a phone call.
Right.
But the second he's getting a little wiggly on me,
you get
I'm
nervous.
like, I'm out. I'm like, Daniel, if he can see it in my eyes, like, stop. Like, we're on this phone call. I need you to listen.
But at the same time, see, for me, Oh yeah. The other day we were doing the podcast and I let my husband have his space. Like I let you have your space. I let you, because I know it's just what you need. It's what men need, obviously. So some guys are really
We're not good multitaskers.
Well, some are good at the juggle, but I can see, like, if it starts to stress you out, I'll just deal with it. But the kids were in here and they were playing and you could hear them. But for me, this is the audio of my life. I always hear the little giggles and the things clicking.
And I give him a look like,
and I'm
let me shut this off right now.
No, you can't, because this is don't forget.
I get
this is our audience.
But
and
I
this
expect
is
a certain way that they should be conducting themselves.
But they weren't being...
When I'm looking at them, I'm like, look at my eyes. Do I look like I'm playing around here?
Don't touch my angels.
I'm not going to touch them, but I'm like, behave yourself. Listen, we're doing a podcast. You know better than that.
But they can. I mean, when they need to turn it on, then they
they're
are very
great.
well behaved.
They are great.
But at the same time, they know in my business calls, I just say, hey, I've got the kids. I don't have a nanny. I don't want a nanny. I'm doing this stuff. I'm doing the juggle. And more than anything, because I really want you guys to see that it's possible. And it's just, again, just adapting. It's your new normal. There's no excuse. You can do things. It'll be a lot slower. It's not going to be fast. You're including your kids. I mean, one of the most viral posts that someone put on there is, when you include your kids, everything's going to take a little bit longer, but maybe that's the point. I've learned so many lessons since that first breath of my babies that I'm so grateful for. I used to rush. I used to run through everything. I'm so much more patient. I'm a different person. It's just like all you guys are. And it's a beautiful person. Don't feel like you're losing yourself, because you are. It makes me emotional because it is so beautiful, because you have given birth not only to those beautiful children or child that you have, but you've also given birth to a new version of yourself. And it is so beautiful. Like, God just has planned everything so perfectly for you. And I remember thinking in my single hustly, bustly life, and even, throwing in the towel of, okay, so I guess I'm just never going to be pregnant. Well, then I'm just going to go faster and work harder. Well, you know what, guys? That catches up to you and you get sick. Things happen. It happened to me. Well, God made sure that I slowed down and just lived a different life, and I love it. It is so blessed. So anyway, that's the last thing. We're running out of time. I'm talking. There's
okay.
Still
we got
more.
No time limits. We can do whatever we want to do.
There's still more, but I mean, if you want to join our group, then these are all things that we talk about, that everybody's life is different. Everybody's time management is different. Their work-life balance, there isn't one. There isn't a perfect work-life balance. It's just not going to be the same.
There's never going to be perfect work-life balance.
Before you had kids.
It's always a work in progress.
But definitely, the morning routines and have everything. I want to say, because one of the tactical things that I wanted to touch on, and I'm just going to add this, there's a few more, but we could always do another episode on it. But have a morning, people call it the morning ritual, morning routine, and also a closing out. And I feel like for me, I obviously have my kids involved in it. For us, I'm going to pull back the curtains and share exactly what we do. But the one thing is, the most important is we pray. And I pray with my kids. And at the end of the night, we pray. We talk about gratitude in the morning. And we affirm who we are as God's children. And we have this list of things that we do. Then we have our exercise stuff at home, because I don't spend hours at the gym anymore. My life is different. And I know a lot of you guys, when I talk to you, especially the moms that are going through postpartum and they're struggling with their fitness and they can't go to the gym, don't just give up. Do stuff at home. Have challenges for yourself. 200 sit-ups, 200 squats, just whatever it is. It doesn't have to be 200. It could be 15 times
Just
3.
make
Just
it
do
simple,
something.
but push yourself a little bit.
Right. Just commit to doing something every day. So maybe you don't need to do the gratitude and affirming who you are as God's child. Just do the prayer. Just start committing to a few things. And at the end of the night, we like to do the prayer. We like to do what went well. What could we have done better? Those types of questions. That's really, really important for our time management and what we add.
And we're not
to
just saying we do
nourish
that. We
our
actually
children.
do this
We
stuff. Because lots of times
actually
when I
really
listen to
do.
people,
Yeah.
I'll listen to different people talk about some of their routines, and I'm like, do they really do that? We really do this stuff. And because it's important to us. It's important for us to do it with our kids. And actually, one just walked in just now.
Hi, Pluggy.
We're talking to our friends. They can hear you too. So let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love, for I have put my trust in you. Psalms 143:8. I can't see. I was trying to read that for you guys. I wrote that down for you guys. But so just have your morning routine, ritual, whatever you want to call it, morning routine, and then close out the day in a powerful and meaning way. I love it. My children hear my prayers. And last night, I was a little bit anxious about some stuff. And I taught my son how to talk to God, and it was really cute because he said, "Mommy, you know how you could have done better? You could have made that prayer better. Tell him thank you that it already happened." And we've been doing this for years, and he said, "Don't worry about it. Just give it to God."
That was very grown up of him.
It was I started crying.
Yeah.
But then I had to pull back because I didn't want him to worry. But it was, and he always says, "Are those happy tears or sad tears?" It was happy, happy, happy tears, because the way he redid my prayer for me, and it was just so
Mom, you could have said
intelligent
this
and
like this, and Mom, you should have said this like this, and then you'll feel so much better about it, and God will answer your prayers. He was so grown up the way he said it.
So anyway,
one of the things I like to do is just when you get up in the morning, just to be able to set time for your whatever you're going to do, because we work from home and we have our kids here, and so I just set my alarms for everything. So if I have a 1:00 call, I say I just jump on my phone. I say set a 1 p.m. call with whoever, with John Smith, and it will put an alarm on for 1 p.m. or I'll put it on 5 minutes before, so that I don't miss that call, because I never want to miss a call. I don't ever want to miss a meeting. I don't ever want to miss time with my kids, whatever that might be. Just set an alarm for it. You can have 10 alarms set for the day, and they'll go off one after another, and you just take a look, and it'll tell you exactly what the alarm's for. Set all those alarms the night before or in the morning, and it will make your life so much easier. And you'll never miss anything.
Right. And that's a part of time blocking. So again, add the family activities to the time blocking. And if you like looking at aesthetically beautiful calendars or things written out, be careful, sweetheart. Be careful with your neck, okay? She's so cute. She's doing cartwheels and all kinds of wonderful things in here, keeping us entertained. But yes, that's all part of time blocking, and make sure that you are aggressive with that and committed, because there is a time for everything.
And I think, do you have any more last minute tips before we...
No, I'm excited to play with the kids now.
Okay.
But I do. I have a lot, but we could do a whole nother, because it's so up in the air, the work-life balance. There's a lot of topics to hit on it, and a lot of tactical things to hit. So anyway, we love you guys. I hope that this brought you guys some clarity and some help, and just know you're not alone. And when it feels like, oh, I can't get it perfect, I can't get everything perfect and the same every day, especially when you have the babies, every day is going to look different. To the 2-week-old baby is going to look different to the 1-month-old baby, to the 2-year-old, to the
way you handle
all
it. Yeah.
going to look different. And this is now not only your family, but this is all a part of your business.
And be assured that we're all going through the same thing.
We are.
We're not
in different versions.
Yeah, it's going to be
100%.
we call it riding the ship. We're constantly riding the ship because it's not always going to be the same thing every time.
Yes.
And so you might be trying something new and you're trying to see if this works and then it doesn't work. So you change it up. It's just constantly trying to do better. And the fact that you're even worried about it means you're a great parent.
Yeah, you are a great parent.
So take it. Don't take it too hard because we're all working to get better and we're all worried about. I mean, there's times that me and her look at each other and she'll just start, crying because she's like, we haven't been spending as much time with the kids as we'd like to, or as we should. And I just remind her that we're going to get better next week. It's like we had a busy week. It was crazy. And we didn't get as much time with the kids, but we're going to do better next week.
Well, we spend time with them, but it's just, for me, I like to go places with them. But sometimes you're stuck where you can't, or maybe you're not feeling well and you can't do those special things that you enjoy doing. So I get emotional that way, but it's good that I have someone to lean into. And that's the thing. You have 10 cups, and when you see one's getting down, maybe that's the relationship with your spouse or one of your children. You haven't been, oh, I love you. She put her hand on my shoulder. Yes, so cute. Where'd you find it?
So we have this thing where if
they
want to talk, they put their hand on our shoulder and we just acknowledge them by touching their hand, letting them know that they can talk as soon as we finish our sentence. And here we're doing it again. Go ahead, babe.
It's
yes.
shiny.
I know that.
And yeah, those sticky little alligators.
We're almost done with our podcast real quick, and then we'll be out there.
And then I'll go play.
I love you, princess. So, and that's just a little helpful tool if you haven't heard us say that on the podcast before, but whenever they want to speak, they just walk up and they put their hand on our shoulders and then we acknowledge them by touching their hands, just so that they know that we're finishing a thought. Let us finish this thought, and then we'll tell them, and then we'll ask them what they wanted to say. So thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of the Pretty and Punk podcast. If you're not on our Instagram and you have a question about today's topic or today's podcast or any topic, any of our podcasts, you can always ask us on Instagram. We're pretty attentive there. And be sure to check out our Instagram and our YouTube and wherever else you want to find us. And hopefully you can share this podcast with somebody if you know anybody that it will help. And we'll catch you guys next week.
God bless you. We love you so much. You got this. You're an amazing mom.
You got this.
Tell them they're amazing dads.
You're amazing dads.
You're doing amazing. And if anyone hasn't told you, I hope that I was the first to tell you. You're amazing.
We'll
I love you.
See you guys next
Bye.
week.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Pretty and Punk podcast. We hope you have a good day. God bless. See you next week. I appreciate listening to the Pretty and Punk podcast. Be sure to subscribe. I'll see you next week. God bless.